Men, you're pursuing excellence, but your level of excellence isn't enough. Listen to this. The church has been deceived by the enemy, not by being lured into gross sin, but by allowing our minds to be infiltrated and neutralized with enough good to quench our thirst for excellence, God's excellence. This comes from Prayer Evangelism by Ed Silvoso. We have been tricked. We've been lured into this good enough mentality, and we should be pursuing excellence. And as an athlete, this is something that I've heard for years and personally pursued this idea of excellence. But my excellence, my humanly excellence, is not good enough. There is my standard, even if it's above everyone else's standards, is still not high enough. We should be pursuing excellence in God and God's excellence. And that means we have to live to God's standards. And let me tell you, those standards are high. And the reality is, we're never going to reach those standards. Thankfully, we have Jesus, who went to the cross, died for our sins, died because we're not going to reach those standards. But just because we know we're not going to reach God's standards doesn't mean we shouldn't be pursuing them. Doesn't mean we shouldn't be striving for those standards and living in a way that points people to those standards and shows us that as Christians, we are set apart. We have been set apart, and we choose to live set apart. Not that we're better than everyone. We still are sinners. But we are willing to do more. We are willing to do better than the standards of this world. Our excellence, the standard of this world, no matter what society you go into, is not enough. We should be pursuing God's excellence, God's standards. And this is where we find eternal expansion. This is where we are able to level up in a way in our life, in our marriage, in our minds and our spirits, in our work, in a way that people notice, and you will be known as someone who is set apart, who lives differently. And again, this isn't about being better than anyone else. We still humbly serve. We still humbly lead. This is the way. We still humbly love. So whose excellence are you pursuing? And whose standards are you trying to live up to? I hope it's God's, because that's the standard we're called to live to. As surrendered men, we are called to live to God's excellence, to God's standards. We let go of all of what we have, and we pursue God, His excellence, His standards. God bless, and I love you.